Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the list of the biggest bastards that have left a mark as some of the most infuriating and memorable beings in gaming history. Just to clarify, we're focusing on the outright beings that are bad to the bone, not just characters who are simply annoying. So let's get ready, dive in, and get extra angry together. This noise will always have a special hated place in my soul. Faro already is in a situation where he needs to save his entire species, which has been turned into crystal. And then comes along this degenerate who has no other motivation than to make your life hard. You need to charge or flame him, which means running at full speed along tight looping paths that demand near perfect cornering. All while he taunts you with that childish tune even when you're falling to your death. By far the worst beefs in the entire trilogy are the ones in the treetops level, where taking leaps of faith often end in a black void. I've already said how much I hate this character, but it's one thing being an ass, but when you raise a hand to my favourite boy,
Not today, Satan.
During Act 1 you'll most likely come across a dog called Scratch whose owner has been killed. You can invite him to join you in your camp, which instantly raises the level of cute, with Scratch bringing you various gifts. However, it's not until Act 3 where you meet the dog handler, Scratch's previous owner, which it's revealed that he's actually a courier dog. From the moment you meet her, she's seen scolding and mistreating her animals and assistant, and when you're interacting with her, there's even a risk of losing Scratch entirely when she demands that you return him. She's just a wildly unpleasant character, and for these reasons, she deserves a fireball right in the face. Micah has a long list of reasons why he's hated: a racist, sexist, phobic, manipulative murderer who revels in betrayal and chaos at every opportunity. He betrays friends, intimidates children, and revels in it. People hate Micah because he's deliberately written as the gang's internal rot. While Arthur starts searching for some kind of redemption, Micah stays a loud, sneering, self-serving thug who drags everybody into bloodier, dumber choices. From the strawberry jailbreak onward, he feels like a walking red flag. Unlike many villains, he never gets a soft or sympathetic moment. It's all cruelty, racism, and greed. The more you lean towards Arthur and towards high honour, the more Micah's nihilism grates. In short, Micah bundles every negative feeling about the gang's collapse into one swaggering presence, so hating him is exactly how the story wants you to feel. Hate for Nazeem simply boils down to how smug he is. You're Dragonborn, you fight Draugr, bandits, trolls, dragons, but apparently that's not enough for this guy who constantly heckles you for being beneath him. His iconic Cloud District line is incredibly condescending, and he says it constantly. This guy is so hated, there's even an entire Reddit thread on various tactics people have used to get rid of him. Some are funny, and some are, well, I think you guys need some help. Skyrim came out in 2011 and people still go on about Nazeem, so that pretty much solidifies his place on this list. If there's one character that really stands out as being hated in the community for Baldur's Gate 3, it's Wulbren Bongle. Fans hate him so much to the point that there is in fact a subreddit dedicated solely to hating him, which has over 500 members, and a diss track on YouTube that even mocks him. Wulbren is a dismissive, arrogant gnome who just looks down on Barcus' loyalty. His disdain for Barcus combined with his narcissism and bigotry makes him deeply unlikable. He's more driven by petty anger than justice, especially in his vendetta against the Steelwatch, which he's willing to kill Gondians over it if it suits his grudge. His arrogance, narrow-mindedness, and cruelty cements his place as one of the most hated characters in the game, an intentionally crafted villain that players love to hate. Patches is a character that pops up in every Soulsborne game, and each meeting is exactly the same. He's a merchant/scavenger that loots corpses and sells off their belongings, and whenever you encounter him, it's pretty clear that you are not the exception. Patches weaponizes trust, feigns friendliness, followed by trapdoors, all kicking you into dark pits, ultimately making you lose a significant amount of souls. It's only when you find him again he apologizes and gives you a present in return for you not turning him into a kebab. The fact that his motivation is simply, "this is what I do," and recurrence in the games has united players in hatred. But strangely enough, he also has a certain charm to him. And I think most of the time people are more annoyed about the fact that they fell for his trickery in the first place, due to the fact that he sounds like a stereotypical villain with his iconic laugh. Rais is a major antagonist in Dying Light 1, a first-person action survival game set in a zombie-infested world. He's a ruthless and manipulative warlord that leads his faction. He's often shown as cold, calculating, and willing to do whatever it takes to maintain power and order. Rais is known for his brutal tactics, including executing or threatening others to stay in control and enforcing harsh discipline among his followers. His willingness to betray or sacrifice others for his own gain, along with his aggressive and domineering demeanour, already make the volatile environment into something way more dangerous, and yet another obstacle to overcome. As if being chased by these guys wasn't bad enough. Ted Faro was the founder, owner and chairman of Faro Automated Solutions, a leading robotics and technology company. Thanks to his business acumen, Faro turned fast into the most successful and influential corporation in history, renowned for its automated systems, from personal servants to military machines. But Faro's attitude and greed was what led him to not just his downfall, but the entire world's. He created machines with extremely advanced AI to fight on behalf of the military. However, like the bright spark he was, he then allowed those machines to reproduce themselves and installed a bioconversion system, meaning the machines just needed to consume biomass in order to convert it into fuel. As you might expect, the AI and machines started to become independent, attacking all life and reproducing at a rapid rate until humans had no choice but to accept their fate and pave the way for future generations instead with a terraforming and cloning system. If that wasn't bad enough, Faro's head clearly had more room to go even further up his ass, and he started to become obsessed with the AI responsible for rebuilding the world. And part of this was Apollo, a system containing the knowledge of culture, human achievements, and teach them not to make the same mistake again. Because he's mental, Faro became convinced this information was a danger and deleted the entire archive along with murdering the alphas, meaning the information was completely lost forever and couldn't be brought back. So nobody could figure out that he was the reason for the fall of humanity in the first place. Let's just say his mental state only got worse from here, and his narcissism makes him one of the worst on this list. Which brings us to David from The Last of Us. I mean, what do I even need to say here? Ellie encounters David when hunting a deer. Ellie agrees to give a share of the meat in return for antibiotics. While fetching the medicine, they get attacked, and the game establishes them as a good team. We then learn that David was part of the group that was killed after Ellie and Joel were attacked earlier in the game. David initially lets her go, but then eventually captures her, and Ellie wakes up in a cell. And it's here that we learn that not only is David and his group cannibals, he's also a massive predator. David is written like most predators and weaponizes false gentleness to groom trust before revealing his true nature, forcing Ellie and the player into a tense personal survival confrontation. The sharp pivot from cooperative friendly to immediate threat is extremely disturbing, and a moment that stays with you long after the game is shut off. Mindy is such a hated character that she has an entire subreddit dedicated to her, but what's she done to attract such a dislike? Well, our dear old Mindy offers to trade you a Haunter for a Medicham, which many players got excited upon the idea of evolving into a Gengar. However, there's a bit of a catch, and the Haunter she trades is actually holding an Everstone, meaning it won't evolve upon the exchange. To make it worse, Mindy then taunts you by asking if the Haunter changed into something else, then says, "Just kidding," meaning she knows exactly how much of a dick she's being. People are so outraged by her that there are countless threads on why this character is just the worst, which is understandable. Fuck you, Mindy. This is why you don't have any friends. Everyone has met a Braith, a snotty little kid that thinks they can take you on, but unfortunately, much like real life, kicking a child that deserves it is frowned upon. Braith hangs around Whiterun and is constantly bullying other kids and just generally being a brat. She's so aggressive that she states there's nobody she won't fight, even dogs. The worst thing about Braith is that because she's a kid, you can't even get revenge without mods. So you just have to accept it. What do you think of our list? Who else would you add? Comment below and don't forget to give a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.